What's going on, Workforce? Brian here, and today we're actually doing a little bit different thing for the patch notes summary. Gonna be focusing this video just on the battle system changes, as these are pretty much the hot topic for any patch notes. What's changing, what's getting buffed, what's getting nerfed, what are the numbers, what do you need to know? And that's what this is going to be about. Now, if you want the full patch notes, we go over all of this for patch 5.1. Check out the link in the description. It's an hour and a half. You can read along. We'll also have the link to the patch notes themselves here as well. And we're also going to be giving our overall thoughts about this. Chris and I are planning on trying to do a collab today on this. Also taking in your comments, what you're excited about, what you're frustrated about, and kind of bringing that full circle as a part of Patch Note Friday for Final Fantasy XIV. The patch goes live on October the 29th, which is this coming Tuesday. Over this weekend, pro tip, if you run any content, roll on everything, because desynth is going to 100%. It's going to allow you to, hey, you got things to break down, might as well stock up and have plenty of stuff to run through and clean up your inventories with via the desynth. So again, like I said, I'm going to focus this video 100% on the battle system changes. We're going to go over the detail. I'm going to share my thoughts on them. I have not got all jobs up to 80, so just keep that in mind. I have played all the jobs up to 70. And also we're seeing a lot of Blue Mage changes. And you in the comments that says delete Blue Mage or Blue Mage isn't a real job. I hear you 100%. But we're still going to talk about the Blue Mage changes that are coming right here. Obviously, as a part of, just so you guys know, 5.1.1 is when Ultimate's going to drop. That's also when the Rebuilding of Ishgard's going to drop. 5.1.5 that's going to be when the new Blue Mage to 60 happens. So the Blue Mage stuff here is insane. It's epic, but it's insane. And so we're going to talk about that here. So note that there's still more stuff to come with the different patches. We're not going to cover the quests and the content, all of that, because it's usually mostly redacted anyway. And so I just wanted to put together a summary of the battle system changes for you. Let me know your feedback in the comments below. If you'd like a more detailed summary over the overall thing, maybe Chris will get that put together if you guys want that. Just let us know. Hit that like button, smash like. If you agree. Sorry. I'm in a mood. I've had a lot of caffeine. I've been up early reading these notes. So, like I said, we're going over details, and then we're going to talk about it. That's the plan for this video. So, the actions have been adjusted as follows. So, Paladin, Sentinel, 10 to 15 second buff increase. This is what we're seeing across all tanks. Vengeance, 10 to 15 seconds. Holmgang, 6 to 8 seconds. I actually think that's a pretty powerful buff right there. Raw Intuition, 5 to 6 seconds. Dark Knight, Shadow Veil, 10 to 15 seconds. Nebula for Gunbreaker, 10 to 15 seconds. So all of that, huge buffs. No, increase in the recast time or anything like that. So that's just giving you 5 additional seconds of damage mitigation. This is across the board. This is also going to tie in with Reprisal, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Dark Knight, Shadow Wall, duration is increased. Well, Brian learned how to read and scroll. Monk, Rockbreaker, the area effect is changed from a cone to near my enemies. Mantra is getting a 10% reduction from 20% to 10%. We've seen that. They told us that in the live letter. Not necessarily too surprised. Had Chili on here. He's a monk main. He's like, I'm fine with that. That works great. And then Ottoman is now triggers the cooldown of weapon skills upon execution and cannot be executed during a weapon skill cooldown. So that's really the only job that's getting a nerf. We're going to talk about Samurai here though in a minute. The Dragoon. Now this is nuts, guys. Blood of the Dragon recast time has been reduced by 5 seconds to 25 seconds. Skogul, Potency, 270 to 300. Mirage Dive, 250 to 300. Star Diver, 550 to 600. Those are some big buffs. Like that is some really big potency buffs for the Dragoon. Just overall, like here you guys go. Here's some added potency. That's going to overall increase your DPS. Really excited about doing a tier list on all the jobs once we get all the data in after 5.1. So Ninja, Mug, the recast time has been increased from 110 to 120 seconds. Trick Attack, lots of ninja changes, guys. This is a long list right here, so buckle up. Trick Attack. So the potency is increased to 350. The vulnerability is no longer going to be required to be on the enemy's rear. It can happen from anywhere around the enemy. I'm not a ninja main, so I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh man, that sucks. But ultimately it's like, well, what are we doing with Trick Attack? Really? At the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter because there's still rear combo potencies. I just wonder if we're going to go into a point where we don't have any directional. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? I'm not a real big fan of the melee. Like I'm a caster at heart, tank, healer, but I'd love to know what you think. So sound off in the comments below what you think about Trick Attack. I'd like to get your thoughts. We can talk about that in a community feedback. The Augean Edge, the effect potency has been reduced from 10% to 5%. So the fact that it can be applied at any direction overall is coming at the cost of a 5% vulnerability rather than 10%, but the duration is going up by 5 seconds to 15 seconds total. The Augean Edge, the combo potency has been increased from 400 to 420. The rear combo potency from 460 to 480. So it's getting a nice 20 potency boost as long as you're doing the combo as well as doing the direction. Shadow Fang, the potency has been increased from 100 to 200. The no longer can combo off a spinning edge. The combo bonus damage over time has been changed to an additional effect. The damage over time potency has been increased from 7 to 90. I'm telling you right now, I read this very confused. So we'll have to wait and see how we can go hands-on with it. The effect duration has been increased from 24 to 30 seconds. It no longer shares a recast time with the other actions. The recast time has been increased from 2.5 to 70 seconds. Shadow execution of Shadow Fang will no longer interrupt combos. So we've got a lot of ninjutsu changes here. So try to summarize all of this. When you see recast times, they're being reduced from 20 to 1.5 seconds because all of this is going into the global cooldown, but it's got that 1.5 second recast, etc. So recast time has been increased from 0.5 to 20 seconds for Tenchi Gen, but the duration has been increased from 5 to 6 seconds, now a maximum of 2 charges. Now triggers the cooldown of weapon skills, Mudra, and ninjutsu upon execution, and more. So the ninjutsu, the recast timer is no longer triggered when ninjutsu is executed or when the mudra timer runs out. It now triggers the cooldown of weapon skills and the ninjutsu upon execution, and you can see the overall general drop in timing. Now let's talk about these potency buffs. For Firma, you got 280 to 500. For Catan, you got 250 to 500. For Rattan, you got 400 to 800. For Haitan, you've got 140 to 400. For Hutan, you don't have any adjustment in potency. Dotan, you got a potency increase from 45 to 100. Sutan, you've got an increase from 130 to 600. Kasatu, and I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering names, no longer shares a ninjutsu recast timer. The charges have been removed. The effect allows execution of single ninjutsu without the consumption of murder charges has been added, and the recast time is now set at 15 seconds. Armor Crush, the combo potency has been increased from 380 to 400. The flank has been 440 to 460, so another 20-point potency boost. Dream Within a Dream, I love this ability. Duration has been increased from 10 to 15 seconds. Mwah. Thank you for that additional 5 seconds. Hellfrog Medium, potency has been reduced from 400 to 200, but it no longer has that damage fall off with the additional enemies. So I think that's actually kind of helpful. Also, the cost of it has been reduced from 80 to 50. I want to call this baklava. I know it's not the case, but that's just how I read it. Potency has been reduced from 500 to 300, and the reduction in cost is from 80 to 50. So Tenchi Gen, the effect of this action has been revamped. Tenchi Gen now has the following functions. It temporarily converts each of the 3 mudra into ninjutsu actions. Affecting one of these actions will convert the remaining mudra into different ninjutsu actions until all 3 have been executed for the Tenchi Gen effect expires. The duration is going to be 6 seconds. Only ninjutsu available while active. The same ninjutsu cannot be executed twice. Cannot be executed under the effect of Kasatu. Effect ends upon moving. Misui increases the Ninki gauge that has changed from 40 to 50. The recast time is increased from 60 to 120 seconds. It's another whole minute. Goka, the potency has been increased from 400 to 750, and then same kind of recast time changes. The Hasaku, Hasanso, potency has been increased from 600 to 1200. Holy smokes. Bushin, the effect of the action has been revamped. Bushin now functions as follows. Grants 5 stacks of Bushin, each stack allowing your shadow to attack enemies each time you execute a weapon skill. Duration has been increased from 15 to 30 seconds. Increase the Nikki gauge per attack has been changed from 4 to 5. The Nikki gauge cost has been reduced from 80 to 50. The recast time has been reduced from 110 to 90. The Bushin status icon will now display the number of attacks remaining for your shadow. Whoo boy! Yeah, and Sakshanu, the increased Nikki gauge has been reduced from 6 to 5, and the second version of that word, Nikki gauge has been changed from 8 to 10. Requirements have been changed from landing any weapon skill or successfully completing any combo to landing Shadow Fang or successfully completing the combo with Augean Edge or Armor Crush. Boom, baby. So again, I actually am going to be leveling up the ninja pretty soon, so I'm excited to kind of go hands-on with these changes. Some of those potencies seem insane, and I cannot wait to see what people and how people feel about the ninja after these changes once they go hands-on with. I'm not too worried if like people, like we could all, you might stress over these changes for samurai that are about to happen, namely because like you really don't know. Like they said that the combos are changing, overall damage is up, but some of the potencies are getting lessened. So meditate, it no longer grants stacks up to 5, it's going to 3 now. The meditation status effect no longer has a duration. It now triggers the cooldowns of weapon skills upon execution and cannot be executed during the weapon skill cooldown. So Hagakuri, the increase the Kenki gauge, has changed from 5 to 10. The Tusombi Genshi global cooldown while executing this action is now affected by skill speed. The Sosha, the potency is now fixed at 400. So the requirement for execution is now fixed at 3 stacks of meditation. The recast time has been increased from 1 to 15 seconds though. Higabana, we've got the additional effect grants a stack of meditation upon up to a maximum of 3. So your skills now actually are going to feed you a meditation stack as a part of Samurai. Tenka Goken, the additional effect grants stacks of meditation. Same thing for Mindir, same thing for Keshi, Goken, and Set Suruka, all a part of that. Jinpu has had a potency reduced from 340 to 320. Shifu, potency reduced from 340 to 320. Fuga, the range and the radius has been increased from 6 to 8. The cone size has also been increased. The Yukasi, the combo potency has been reduced from 400 to 360. The Meko Senshui, the Meko Senshui status icon will now display the number of weapon skills that can be executed without combo requirements. So, what do you guys think about Samurai? Like, honestly, I'm really excited to kind of go hands-on with this job. We'll have to do a poll as to which you want me to level first, Ninja or Samurai. Right now, finishing up, White Mage, finishing up Red Mage, which we'll get into the Red Mage changes. I actually prefer, I'm glad for them. So, here we go, Archer and Bard. We knew that they were making some changes, and I actually am pretty keen on these, and I'm curious as to what your thoughts are. Mage's Ballot, the additional effect is actually granted to party members within 30 yalms. This is going to increase their overall damage dealt by 1%. Think Determination, just raising up your base damage. Army's Paeon, the additional effect, all party members, is going to increase your direct hit rate by 3%. This has been added. The Wanderer's Minuet, the additional effect for crit hit rate is going up to 2%. So there was, like, these songs had nothing to do with the party. Now bards are going to be able to buff the party. Overall damage with mages by 1. Overall direct hit increase by 3%, and overall crit is by 2. It's not like an insane amount, but this is the whole party. So this is going to encourage your bard to keep on singing. So for me, I actually really like this change, namely because there was nothing. If it was a reduction, or if it was like, well, they could have, maybe they could have done more, maybe you want more. We'll have to overall see how bards are welcomed into statics and to see overall what happens with it. So I think it's really good. They also have other changes that we haven't talked about yet, so hold on. Potency for one effect has been increased from 175 to 200. Potency for 2 effects has been increased from 260 to 300, so that's a big boost there. The Troubadour recast has been reduced from 180 to 120. Apex arrows, oh god, this hurts, guys. Range has been increased from 15 to 25. Potency has been reduced from 500 to 120. However, potency increases up to 600 as the soul voice gauge exceeds the minimum cost, consuming the soul voice gauge upon execution. So there's a sound effect stuff that's kind of tied into a lot of this, the battle system stuff we'll talk here in a minute. I really want to know what you guys think about Apex Arrow. it hurts, but then I'm like, how long does it take to get the soul gauge? So Bard's on the list. We'll get to it hopefully here pretty soon as well. But good night. That is a drop from 500 to 120. So you're going to want to have that apex arrow kind of, that's going to have to be tied into your soul thing. So if you're not paying attention, if you didn't see this video, please be sure to share it out with any bards so that they're aware of this change. That way, otherwise they're going to find out, like, they're going to get a world of hurt. Like, why is my damage going down? Venomous Bite, damage over time has been reduced from 40 to 30. Wind Bite, 50 to 40. Cautious Bite, 50 to 40. Storm Bite, 50 to 40. 60 to 50. And then the Refulgent Arrow potency has been reduced from 340 to 330. So some buffs, some nerfs. I don't know, guys. It's going to be fun to see. Overall, I think that when people get hands-on with it, it's going to be an increase in it overall. Anyway, so Machinist, Tactician, recast time from 180 to 120. This is really good. It's a really good buff the Machinist has with Tactician, overall buffing the party. And 180 seconds, it's easy to forget. Every 2 minutes, it seems like a nice little buff to help out your healers. Split Shot is a buff increase from by 20 to 180. Slug Shot from 240 to 260. Clean Shot 320 to 340. Heat Blast 200 to 220. Heated Split Shot 200 to 220. Heated Slug Shot 300 to 330. Heated Clean Shot 400 to 440. And Flamethrower, the global cooldown executing his action is now affected by skill speed. Honestly, I love Machinist. Machinist has been a joy to play, and the fact that we just got all the better for it, thank you. You know, that's all I've got to say there. Dancer, Cascade, the potency is increased from 200 to 250. Fountain, the combo potency from 250 to 300. Rising Windmill, potency increased from 250 to 300. Blood Shower, potency has been increased from 300 to 350. Curing Waltz, cure potency has been increased from 200 to 300. Shield Samba, recast time has been reduced from 180 to 120, seeming in line with Machinist, seeming in line with the Bard changes, thus making, I guess, our ranged damage dealers all the better for it. Black Mage, major buff here. Triple cast, icon will now be displayed the number of spells that can be cast with no cast time. Great, perfect, thank you very much. Yoshi P's like, we got this. We're lock solid. I don't know why my light is changing, but oh well, thank you, computer. The Arcanist Summer, Agony Assault. It is a spell. Okay, we're gonna have to see how it goes. Same thing for Agony Assault too. As I talked with Larry Czar about this the other day. Check out that video. It's up on the channel. Him and I talking about these changes. The Bane no longer spreads ruination stat effects to nearby targets. Pain Flare. Potency has been reduced from 150 to 130. Try Disaster now deals a potency of 300 upon hit, and the ruination has been removed. Dreadworm Trance. Recast time reduced from 60 to 55 seconds. Ruin 4. Potency increased from 260 to 300. Bio 3, the damage over time potency has increased from 40 to 50. Miasma 3, the potency has been increased from 40 to 50 for both the initial hit and for the damage over time. Summoning Bahamut, Worm Wave can now be executed immediately upon summoning. Larry and I talked about this. That is actually really helpful. I always kind of felt like you had to wait a little bit for Bahamut, and now it's less floaty in that regards. Firebird Trance, recast time reduced from 60 to 55 seconds. That should also be a real big help as well. Everlasting Flight, the duration has increased by 1 second to 21 seconds. Gust, Emerald Carbuncle, potency has been reduced from 30 to 20. The Downburst, Emerald Carbuncle, potency has been increased from 400 to 100. Glittering Emerald, Emerald Carbuncle, potency has increased from 10 to 30. Damage over time potency has been increased from 10 to 30, and duration has reduced from 15 to 9 seconds. Glittering Topaz, barrier strength has been increased by 10 to 30% of maximum HP. Shining Topaz, potency has been increased from 60 to 200. That's a big boost. Windblade Eggy Garuda, potency has been reduced from 40 to 30. Aerial Slash has been increased from 60 to 150. Slipstream, potency has been increased from 20 to 50. Damage over time potency has been increased from 20 to 50, and duration has been reduced from 5 to 9 seconds. Earth and Armor, Titan Eggy, the barrier strength has been increased from 30 to 20% to 30%. Mountain Buster, potency has increased from 70 to 250. Earth and Fury, potency has increased from 200 to 300. Crimson Cyclone, Ifrit, potency has been increased from 100 to 250. Flaming Crush, potency has increased from 100 to 250. Potency is now reduced 50% for all remaining enemies, so it has that damage fall off that we love to hate. Inferno, the potency has increased from 200 to 300. And Enhanced Bane now always extends the duration of the Bio and Miasma applied by Bane to the full duration of their original effects. This is a huge boost right here for the summoner. As far as that's been floating, and as far as my issues or complaints with the overall job have been, I'm gonna have to I'll dive in hands-on and go with it. I'm not worried. I really would love them to do a full-on redesign of the job with some expansion, you know. And I've got my ideas, and I kind of shared those with Larry the other day. Again, plug that video, check it out. As far as Red Mage goes, let's jump into this one. I just finished leveling, and I kind of held off on my guide because I was like, I know some changes are coming. Acceleration now applies over the next 3 Ver Thunder, Ver Flare, Ver Arrow, Ver Holy Spells. Duration has been increased from 10 to 20 seconds. The recast time has been increased from 35 to 55 seconds. Moulinet, range and radius has been increased from 6 to 8 yalms. That's great. Enhanced range and radius has been increased from 6 to 8 yalms. Perfect. Contra 6, potency increased from 350 to 380. Jolt 2, potency increased from 250 to 280. Enhanced Reprise, the potency is increased from 250 to 300. And Enhanced Jolt now also increases the potency of Ver Thunder, Ver Arrow to 350, and the potency of Ver Fire and Ver Stone to 300. So all in all, I love the changes. The best change that I like about this is the acceleration change. I'm really excited to see how this overall affects my rotation because it's going to ensure it. It says now up to the next 3. So the duration has increased from 10 to 20 seconds, but as a part of that, and the recast time has been increased to represent that, 35 to 55 seconds. So it's hopefully not going to feel so floaty as a part of like, okay, acceleration, you know, like, because you get that, you can pop that on, you can just kind of go about it and work that into your rotation. So for White Mage, Elysium, the range and the status increased from 6 to 8. I don't know why. Range and radius to 6 to 8 yalms. That's a good, nice little boost in area. In Temperance, the effect is now applied immediately after execution. I wish it was the same for Benediction, but I'll take it. Scholar, Summon Seraph. The duration is increased from 20 to 22 seconds. However, Seraph is going to have to wait 2 seconds after being summoned to begin executing these actions. The Embrace, Eos, and Selene, Seraph Veil. These actions will no longer be executed when the pet is set to steady. And Consolation, recast time is increased from 20 to 30 seconds. Overall, this feels a little bit of a nerf in and of itself. Not like in potencies or things like that, but yeah, you can have Seraph, but you're going to have to wait 2 seconds anyway. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. I really like Scholar, this expansion. I've really been enjoying it, and I'm going to keep playing it. So that's the way it is. Astrologian, Combust. Damage over time potency has been increased from 30 to 40. Essential Dignity. The maximum cure potency when a target's HP is low has been increased by 100. Aspected Benefit. MP cost under the effect of Nocturnal Sec will reduce the MP use by 100 to 900 MP. Aspected Helios is also getting a 100 MP reduction from 1100 to 1000. Combust 2 is going to have damage over time increased from 35 to 50. Minor Arcania now automatically changes Lord of Crowns and Lady of Crowns upon drawing a card prior to it being executed. Now, the collective unconscious changes here are massive. Excuse me while I take a sip of water. Long videos. The effect of this action is being revamped. Collective unconsciousness now functions as follows. It creates a celestial ring around the caster. Diurnal Sect effects reduces damage taken by 10% and applies Wheel of Fortune to self and any party member who enters. The duration is going to last 18 seconds. The Wheel of Fortune effect Diurnal, it's going to add a regen effect. Cure potency is 100 and it's going to last 15 seconds. The Nocturnal Sect effect grants healing over time and applies the Wheel of Fortune to the self and of any party members who enter in it. Cure potency 100, duration 18 seconds. Wheel of Fortune effect Nocturnal reduces damage taken by 10% and it's going to last 20 seconds. The effect ends upon either moving or doing another action, including facing a different direction. This will cancel your auto attack, and this will also be executed while under the effect of it can only be executed under the effect of Diurnal or Nocturnal Sect. The radius has been increased from 6 to 8 yalms, and the recast time has been reduced from 90 to 60 seconds. This is a massive change, and honestly, I think it's a good one. I like that they've added the regen effect. I like that it's got the like you've got your healing over time. You've also got your reducing damage. So depending on who you're teaming up with, that's obviously going to play into it. And the reduction in recast time to just 1 minute, that's actually, I think, pretty important overall. Combust 3, potency is going from 45 to 60. Malfect 4, potency increased from 240 to 250. So not too many big potency buffs, but overall, that's just going to be just a general buff for the Astrologian. I don't think this addresses what people have had issues with, but I could be wrong. I haven't leveled Astrologian yet. Still working on all the jobs this early in, but for the most part, I think a lot of people are still frustrated by the cards themselves. But we'll have to wait and see. I'd love to know if you're an Astrologian main, what you think about these changes. Tank roll. Here's the big one, guys. It's AoE now. Reprisal, AoE, it's going to last 10 seconds now. So what this reprisal does is it applies a 10% reduction in damage. So for a single target, it's been great. It's been great for an off tank. You know, like, oh, I'm the off tank. I'm going to keep putting this up to help with the tank buster, because that's just damage reduced to the tank itself. Now, I'm the main tank. AoE pulls, reprisal, totally a part of your rotation. Want to be using this. This is like you bring in 10 guys. Like that's like you do big pulls, reprisal, 10 seconds. That's a massive buff to your health, to your survivability with reprisal now. Healer roll, rescue, the recast time has been reduced from 150 to 120. So you can rescue somebody that you love every 2 minutes. The following traits have been added for Summoner. The Enhanced Outburst increases the potency of Outburst to 90. Why is this important? Because Summoner had with Ruination, that Outburst would apply. That's where you want a Ruination and Outburst on your targets, you know, on all of them, because it boosted Outburst to 90. Otherwise, I think it was 60. So what this does is it's just going to make Outburst flat out 90 because Ruination no longer has applied. So the traits have been removed. Summoner is enhanced Tri-Disaster. The help text for certain actions and status effects have been adjusted, and more. The display of resource costs with actions have been adjusted, and this is interesting. Mage Lily, but Blood Lily costs no longer display on action icons. The Machinist, the minimum battery gauge cost will now be displayed on action icons. Red Mage, Black, and White Mana costs will now be displayed on action icons. Cartridge costs will now be displayed on action cartridges for Gunbreaker. And Dancer, the 4 Full Feather costs will no longer be displayed. So White Mage and Dancer, they're being removed, and they're being added to Machinist, Red Mage, and Gunbreaker. The job gauges have been adjusted as follows. A sound will now play when the Gunbreaker's power gauge is full. That's cool. A sound gauge will display when the Nikki gauge sound effect playing when reaching 80 Nikki has changed to trigger when reaching 50, because that's in line with the adjustments that we've seen for Ninja. A sound will now be played when Bard's soul voice gauge reaches 100. A sound will now be played when a Machinist battery gauge reaches 100. So talking about that, the Apex Arrow, you're going to at least hear a sound. So you want to check your sound settings, make sure you're getting those system sounds as well. And for the Machinist, when it reaches 100. A sound will now play when Dancer gains their 4th full feather. The change in display in the balance of gauge and the sound effect played when reaching 30 mana, white and black, will now trigger when reaching 80. This is a really good change, I think. And the sound now played when a White Mage's Blood Lily blooms, that's going to help. This is such a really nice, subtle way of feedback. I actually appreciate these changes because it takes your... you don't have to worry about your eyes focusing on a gauge. You can actually listen for the sound effect and then execute the action. So I think that's going to help you focus in on what's happening on screen rather than where are you on your bar. Pets will now be displayed in the party list. Can't still target them, but welcome back, Ifrit Eggy. The Summoner's Demi-Phoenix can no longer be targeted. Yay, we did it. All attacks from Arcanist and Summoner pets are now categorized as magic attacks. So, let's dive into Blue Mage while I sip some water. Or while I open the lid. Thanks for everybody for hanging out in this video so far. Okay, Blue Mage has been adjusted as follows. Water Cannon, potency, 120 to 200. Flamethrower, potency increased from 130 to 220. It's got a damage fall off though. Aqua Breath, the potency has been increased from 90 to 140, damage fall off as well. The damage over time potency has been increased from 10 to 20. Flying Frenzy, potency increased from 80 to 150. Potency will be reduced 50% as well. Drill Cannons, the potency is increased from 120 to 200 if they are affected with Petrification, which I can never get to land. It goes to 420 to 600 potency. High Voltage, potency has been increased from 90 to 180. The potency on the target is afflicted with Dropsy has been increased from 120 to 220, and it's got the damage fall off. Final Sting, potency increased from 1500 to 2000. And the player will now be affected with Brush of Death status after use. I'm reading this as that they don't die from this ability, but you can't execute it again. I don't know why the lighting is being weird. Song of Torment, damage over time potency has been increased from 25 to 50. Glower, from 130 to 220 with the damage fall off. Paincracker, potency increased from 130 to 220 with damage fall off. Sharpened Knife, potency increased from 120 to 220. Potency if the target is stunned has been increased from 250 to 450. Hoo boy! That's a buff. Ice Spikes increased from 25 to 40. Blood Drain has been increased from 20 to 50. Bomb Toss. Potency has been increased from 110 to 200 with a damage fall off. Off Guard. This is changing and it's getting nerfed, but it's in line probably with all the different buffs that we've seen. The effect of the action has been revamped. Off Guard now functions as follows. Increased target's damage by 5%. Recast time has been increased from 25 to 60 seconds. Now shares a recast timer with particular light, and duration has been reduced from 30 to 15 seconds. Self-destruct. Potency has been increased from 900 to 1500. Potency while you're under the effect of Toad Oil has been increased from 120 to 1800, and players will now be inflicted with Brush of Death status, and they can't use any other action while executed under the Brush of Death status. Transfusion. Player will now be inflicted with Brush of Death status. After use, the action cannot be executed under the effect of Brush of Death. 4 tons weight. Potency increased from 110 to 200 with the damage fall off. The Look. Potency increased from 110 to 220 with the damage fall off. Bad Breath. Damage increased from 10 to 20. Thank you. Ram's Voice. Potency increased from 130 to 220 with the damage fall off. Dragon's Voice from 110 to 200. Potency will be effective the target under Deep Freeze has been increased from 310 to 400, and it's got a damage fall off. Inkjet. Potency increased from 120 to 200 with the damage fall off. Fire Air Gun. Potency increased from 120 to 200 with the damage fall off. Mind Blast. Potency increased from 100 to 200 with the damage fall off. Particular Light. The effect potency reduced from 30 to 5%. Duration has been increased from 10 to 15 seconds. Now shares a recast timer with Off Guard. Feather Rain. Potency has been increased from 180 to 220. And the damage over time potency has been increased from 20 to 40. Eruption. Potency has increased from 220 to 300. Mound Buster. Potency has increased from 310 to 400. Potency reduction after the first enemy is now fixed at 50%. Shock Strike. Potency has been increased from 310 to 400. Potency reduced after the action's first enemy is fixed to 50%. Glass Dance. Potency has increased from 290 to 350, and the potency reduction after the first enemy is now fixed at 50%. The success rate in learning actions from enemies has increased. The success okay, awesome. The success rate when learning actions from enemies will be increased further when entering duties with the undersized party setting disabled. So if you really want to run this and have a good time, or have a challenge, like the chances of learning the skill are there. I'm wondering what that boost is, because if it takes you much longer, it might not be worth it, but overall, we'll have to see. Using Blue Mage that incapacitates self will now apply Brush of Death status effect. Under this effect, Blue Mage spells that incapacitate self cannot be used. New score bonuses have been added to the Mass Carnival. The listing of enemy resistances in Mass Carnival stages window has changed to vulnerabilities. A filter has been added to the Blue Mage spell book. So now you can ideally find the spells that you want. So, guys, there's lots more as a part of these patch notes. Again, you can go check out the full epic reading, an hour plus of the notes and my thoughts on those as well. We're going to try to also section that out so you can kind of jump to the different sections. Overall, hands down, I wouldn't worry. If you're worried about any specific job change, wait till Tuesday, go hands-on with it, see how it feels. Numbers are just numbers as it all relates. We always kind of say this, like, honestly, I think for me as a healer and as a tank, I love these changes. As a red mage and a machinist, I love these changes. As a summoner, I'm still like, what does it really mean? Like, is it going to feel better overall? Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we'll go hands-on and we'll let you know. Astrologian, I don't think addresses the core issues. I think anybody hoping that the core issues that people have had with it and have expressed, you're going to have to look at an expansion for that. And so sometimes that's just how it is. Now, we probably will see another round of job adjustments, come in 5.2. After everything kind of plays out here, they'll see how it goes. And then overall, like the bigger adjustments like we saw with Machinist, those happen with the expansions. Blue Mage expansion, the level 60, again, is going to be at 5.15. And so the stuff that's in the patch notes that is missing is a part of the fact that it's coming with 5.1, which is 2 weeks from Tuesday. And then, 2 weeks or probably 3 or 4 weeks after that, we'll see 5.15. And that will be the PvP stuff. There's also a lot of PvP changes, but they didn't really list them here. And we're not going to dive into that as much because we got more stuff coming and this video is already long enough. Guys, again, if you like this video, if you like these notes, if you like what we do here on the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Share this video out with everybody. It really helps us out. I can't express to you how much it helps us out. but it does. I really appreciate you watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, what your issues are with the patch, what you're excited about with the patch in the comments below. Chris and I will see if we can't do a collab later today where we talk about it and we talk about what you guys are saying. I can't guarantee it because our schedules have been crazy as of late, but we're gonna do our best and have some fun. Anyway, for Work to Game, my name is Ryan. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in patch 1.5.1.5. Yeah, 5.1. There we go. Take care.